So okay, this is Jedi Mind Tricks, similar group called Army of the Pharaohs. I don't know that much about them, but I'm assuming that they're from the East Coast, around somewhere past Ohio, that sort of area. And I know that these guys have bars. They've got lyrics, in other words. And they're kind of similar to the Wu-Tang Clan. And also, if you can think of like maybe a couple other crews, I would almost say Bone Thugs, but I don't know how much recognition each individual member has gotten. But these guys are just, there's several of them, and I don't know every one of their names, but I do know that they've got some real good lyrics. So this is kind of rap if you're wanting to forget about paying attention to details. Now, I'm not saying that they're not worth paying attention to, but trying to remember every single thing. This is rather removed from commercial rap. So you know how I say sometimes that it's not, an album will not be commercial, and that's the problem. Well, there's really little to no chance of any song having charts, but that does not mean it's not any good. So that's, you get that, and so this release is really tougher rap. It just has more, kind of iron type thing to it. This feels like an iron album, and you're going to get lyrics, so you don't have to worry about half-ass bars, rhyming weak lines and that sort of thing. They know what they're doing. But okay, so can you smoke to this? Out of the 14 songs, I'd say yeah, there's some good ones on here, like God Particle, Visual Camouflage, Midnight Burial, and I think it's like one more I'm thinking. Headless Ritual probably is some good ones to smoke to. There's a lot of like keys and sequences on this album that the production is just different from some commercial rap. It just sounds so sinister. That's like the main thing about it, is it's really kind of shrouded. That's one thing about it, is it's got more, like I'd say it's pretty similar to Brother Lynch, the type of production that he would have, just without the horror core to it. So if you just want real terrifying music, but you're not wanting the chop you up type stuff, this is a direction to go in. That's basically the whole theme of the album. I mean, really, this is removed from radio. But the production, that's what I was saying, is just how shocking it is. It's really kind of dark and it's in a dark, mesmerizing way. It should definitely captivate you, just because it's just different from regular music. But I guess really, if you're used to rap enough, it really isn't. But the thing is when you compare this to standard radio rapper that you heard in 2015 or 2014, you can sense the difference. And that's another thing, is so many people have been toning down lyrics just because, you probably heard a Jay-Z quote talking about what his stance on lyrics are. Well, some of these, not every person is going to tone it down. So, very few people outside of Lil Wayne have those bars that you hear on the air, and they just keep, hitting you. And that's something that this album will do. Kind of brings back, competitive rap somewhat. But, so the unheard songs, I liked 4. I liked 10 out of 14. 2 almost songs, 8 songs I liked. So the 4 songs I didn't like were Luxor Temple, Ninkyo Dantai, the Yakuza song, Seventh Ghost, and Sumerians. I mean, this is, it's kind of intelligent. Some of these are songs that I would not expect for a song title. If you really pay attention to that sort of stuff, it doesn't feel like they care if it's crap, if it's meant for airplay. So you'll notice a lot of these on here, like Visual Camouflage, God Particle, Midnight Burial, is these songs are not like, Club Joint and Give Me Some Head and that sort of thing. It's different. But so a few of my favorites were Midnight Burial, Broken Safeties, God Particle, and Visual Camouflage, and then Headless Ritual. Those were the ones I liked, and I really liked most of the beats on here. Some of them might take getting used to, and if you really need a song that you've heard before, this is not going to fare that well. You have to be ready for a more kind of robust sound. It's not user friendly, in other words. You just have to prepare for that. And so the score, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I'm going to basically give this an 8.5. And the only reason why it didn't get a higher score is because I don't know terribly many people who would listen to this record. I mean, you say Exhibit, yeah, I know who that is, but Army of the Pharaohs is not super well known, so that's the only reason. But The Future, this album just came out last year. The social score, I'm going to give it a 5 social and 5 out of 10 social, just because you're really going to have to know your way around rap to find this. And so can it be topped? I think the answer is not really. I mean, this is pretty much an excellent album, but it's got some good stuff on here. Really, it sounds perfect for getting ready to go out and get started with your night and that sort of thing. So it's intended for that, and while you're actually doing your activities that you want to do. So this is just going out music and that sort of thing. But alright, I give this album an 8.5 and a 5 social.